What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're not going to be working on the Mustang. As of right now, we have all the parts coming in. We have a new roof skin on the way, as with all the front suspension components for the car. So honestly, we're going to, take a little break on the car until we have all of our other parts. We already figured out a lot of stuff, especially the stuff that you guys are complaining about. We fixed everything on the car about that, but we're gonna be working on the Goon Squad's S2000. As you guys know, we picked this bad boy up. It's been just sitting for a really long time, and you can just see the motor's missing over here, and it's just really filthy, dirty, and it just really needs a good cleaning. And the body of this car, it's in decent shape, but it's kind of just super dirty, and we don't even know what's going on. I can tell that there's a little bit of paint chipping. And guys, while we were working on the Mustang, we did go ahead and order a lot of parts for this car. For instance, we do have this new fender right here. It's actually in the back right here. We kind of been just ordering everything for the car so we can get this thing done pretty quick. So we got the driver's side fender and a driver's side door, because the door on the car is pretty destroyed. As you can see, it was side swiped really good. Maybe it would be able to be fixed, but these parts are pretty cheap because it is a Honda. It's not a Lamborghini or anything like that. And we also have a new quarter panel. It's actually in a box sitting over there. Man, the shop is getting a little crowded now that we have a couple of projects in here, so we need to just get them all out of here. So before we do any work on this car, like tearing it all down, I really do want to give it a nice deep clean. As you can see, it's literally filthy. I mean, it's been sitting at the Goon Squad's garage for over a year, I think. He was planning on fixing it, but they got so much other projects going on over there that he just never had time. And you know what? We scooped it up for a good price, and that's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and rebuild this entire car. The best thing I like about this car is it wasn't really hit in the front. So as you can see, like, the radiator support is factory. Mostly everything. It doesn't even look like these fenders have ever been taken off in the front, which is super cool, especially for a car that was from 2005, or I think it's like 2007 actually. I'm not too sure on that, but for it to be in this good condition, like with the radiator support and everything not being replaced, is pretty freaking cool. And so basically, let's just take this thing outside and just wash it, clean everything out, get all the leaves out, and then we can actually start disassembling some of the damaged parts. First thing we're gonna do is, this is not right here. I like Bluetooth towing.
Bluetooth towing?
All right, let's get this thing pushed outside, man. Yeah, turn that wheel. All right, now we just need to make this wheel straight. Did you hear that thing just crease? It just like
That's why you didn't bead roll it. That's why.
I'm the strongest man in the universe. All right, e-brake it. So the first thing we're gonna do on this car is basically just blow everything off, because there's a lot of leaves and stuff on there, before we give everything a nice wash. Look at all these leaves. So we got everything nice and blown off, and we're actually gonna go ahead and pressure wash it. The only pressure washer we have right now is this electric one, which is good to 600 PSI, so I think it's gonna do a decent job of cleaning it. We really just wanna get all the grime and dirt off of it. Hey, how long is this cable? This thing can go all the way to the moon. Bro, we should do some donuts out here.
Dude, this is the Tokyo Drift lineup.
This is actually a big old property. Well, let's mix everything together.
I agree.
All right.
This is going to create a chemical and ease through the whole car.
All wheel cleaner.
That's what we want. Right here.
This is the secret formula that's going to come out for cleaning cars. looks
You
like.
could be a bartender, bud. drink to it.
No, this how do you think companies like chemical guys build products?
This is the new thing right here.
We're about to see what happens.
Now it's ready.
Hopefully it works. I mean, it's all a bunch of degreasers, so I think it's
if it gets the paint away, I mean,
That's
this
perfect.
thing works good.
kind of what we want. So let's get to washing this thing. So. I mean, it's using all kinds of degreasers. Yeah, I don't really like this color, Victor. Look how dirty it used to be. All right, guys, so check it out. We got it all washed up, and unfortunately it started raining, which is kind of good because it's washing it for free now. But we're gonna go ahead and pull it back inside and show you guys how good it actually cleaned up. I was actually surprised. The paint is in decent condition on this thing. Oh yeah. It looks.
What was that mixture you made for the people in the
Well, what we did, we used some purple powder, some dollar store degreaser, and then some wheel shine because it foams up.
And what's the name of it? What's the name of it?
It's called the vTuned Max Cleaner. It turned out amazing.
vTuned Max Cleaner 3000.
Man, this clear coat looks good. Unfortunately, they didn't sand the hood too good and it all peeled off.
Dude, that mixture turned into ceramic coating.
Look how smooth it is. The entire engine bay actually looks brand new. For a car with 180,000 miles on it, this engine bay is pretty dang clean. We got all the dirt and debris off of it, which is nice that there's nothing really actually missing here in the front. The only thing that's going to need to be replaced in the front, like in the engine bay, is this radiator right here, because this probably is the original radiator. It's a Honda, and as you can see, it's kind of just corroded really bad, and you don't want to be driving with that right there on there. So we will be getting a new OEM radiator for the car. But if we walk around the car, it's actually in better condition than we thought, because when it was super dirty, it kind of looked like it was like scratched up and stuff in some areas. But really, there's really minor like dents and dings all over the car. They're not major though. And the good thing is we do have our Maxi Dent Fix equipment, so it's gonna be super easy to pull out any of the dents. And the hood is actually in perfect shape. And if you know anything about these hoods, they are pretty expensive and they're pretty hard to find an OEM one that doesn't have a lot of damage on it, and it is aluminum. And then coming onto the passenger side, pretty much ready to go. All we're going to do is do a little bit of body work on this quarter panel. I think something just scraped up against it, as you can see, but that's not a big deal right there. But the only issue is the clear coat is peeling all over the car, which really sucks. You can see little spots like right here, all right here, and it looks like they didn't even sand underneath whenever I guess they re-cleared it. I don't think they put base coat down, because you can just see that's just clear coat. There's like no paint in there. So I guess somebody just re-cleared it, and I guess it just sat, and after time, all the clear coat started peeling up. But it's really not too big of a deal. We're gonna sand everything down. And then the big damage areas are right here: the quarter panel, the door, and the fender, which we already have pretty much all these pieces right here. And another cool thing about this quarter panel is it's not really hit that hard. As you can see, it didn't even touch any of the inner structure, and the insurance company actually, they cut a hole right here to see if it actually touched this main structure piece right here, which it didn't, which is super awesome, because we won't have to replace that. We won't even have to worry about that down there. And then inside here, it did dent the taillight pocket right here. As you can see, it kind of ovaled everything out. So maybe we have to put this car on the frame. Maybe we won't have to, because most of this right here comes with the new quarter panel, which is cool. It's just this area right here, and this is a very main component, because these rear bumpers on these cars, they don't really like to fit that good if it's been in an accident. Like you'll see little gaps right there. The taillights don't really fit either because it's like super tight clearance around this taillight, but we're gonna try to knock it out perfectly. And now we're gonna come to the interior and just let you guys know this thing has been sitting for over, I'd say a good year. And I guess most of this stuff right here kind of just started ripping off and everything just started cracking because I think moisture was getting in the car because this right here was just open. I'm pretty sure when they bought this car, it was already taken apart by the insurance company and they just slapped this hardtop. Oh, it's not even on. Oh, check that out. I wonder if we could just pick. Oh, it is. It's not even bolted on. I guess they just slapped it on there just so no rain would get inside the car. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this off and show you guys a little better of the interior. Yeah,
Look at that.
that's nice. We do have a lot of parts in here. Like you can see, these are all just like the trim pieces. The seats are kind of ruined. They're in pretty bad shape. As you can see, like all this ripping right there. So we'll probably have to get a new one of those or get them restitched. And if anybody knows where you can get like new OEM seat covers, it would be nice because we want to keep this car pretty much stock. We're not going to do much to it. I want to keep it original because these cars are actually going up in value pretty freaking good. So guys, the first thing that needs to happen on this car is pretty much we're going to rip the dash out, and I really do want to build a custom firewall for this car.
No,
because
it's not turning into that thing right there.
no, but see, that thing is different.
Nope.
That right there is an original 6-cylinder car who nobody cares about. Half the comments in the first video were saying, it's a piece of junk 6-cylinder car, don't even bother with it. And then when I start cutting into it, all the comments are like, why are you ruining a expensive car? But just kidding, guys, we're not gonna cut the firewall out of this car, but we do have a lot of other parts in here. I guess these are the side panel, or this isn't even from a S2000. What is this from? That won't even fit in here. I guess it's from a different car. I need to call up Goon Squad and see. Oh, it looks like it's from a Trackhawk. They were probably looking, they probably had to order a new one of these, because dang, that sucks. But it's all good. So basically these are all the plastics that the insurance company took apart on this car. And yeah, guys, these seats are absolutely toast. Just that's what happens after a year just sitting there. And it also doesn't have a shift bob right there, which kind of sucks. Basically, that's everything inside the car. Not too much damage in there. And if you guys are wondering where the engine is, I'll show you. It's actually just chilling over here across the shop. It's chilling right here. I think we were watching some of the Goon Squad's videos, and it turns out this thing probably has a blown head gasket, which isn't a big deal on these Hondas. You just take them apart, but hopefully once we get it apart, the head is not warped or the block isn't warped. But I think I know a good machine shop that could easily fix anything that's wrong with it. These little Honda engines are pretty cool. Like this thing right here, I think in like 2001, it was like the highest horsepower per liter car ever created. It has like 240 horsepower for a 4-cylinder, which is pretty insane. And it's like the only rear-wheel drive Honda they've ever made. In the future, we will have probably a whole episode just rebuilding that engine, which I'm super excited for because I've never actually messed with engines, never actually rebuilt anything, and I think it's gonna be a pretty fun thing to do. What we're gonna go ahead and start doing right now is I wanna get all the old parts out of the interior, go ahead and take the seats out, go ahead and start storing everything, because the main thing we're gonna have to start focusing on this car is this quarter panel. It is the main damage, and it's the only part that can't just be unbolted and replaced in a jiffy. So we're gonna have to basically, it's gonna have to be drilled out and replaced, but we might actually have to take it to a frame shop. I might have to take it over to my dad's and get this pulled out a little bit before we do any of that, but I guess we'll see that later. So let's go ahead and get all these unnecessary parts out of here, and there's also a bunch of parts in the trunk area. Dang, that's crazy. This is from that Trackhawk. Oh, this is one of the turn signals because it's broken over there. So guys, we got everything out of the interior. It is a little bit dirty in here. We still need to go to Walmart or something and buy a nice vacuum cleaner so we can vacuum everything out, but we'll do that a bit later. Now what I want to do is go ahead and remove this fender right here. Go ahead and remove the fender and this door, and we can probably go ahead and install the new door and the new fender and go ahead and start lining it up. So then once we're ready to take this thing to the frame rack, we'll have it ready and we'll be good to go. Yes, sir. Ooh. One bad fender removed. Really? So we went ahead and took off the fender and the door, and that's pretty much all the damaged parts that you can remove off this car without cutting and welding. Now we're gonna go ahead and put on our new door, our new fender, and see how everything lines up. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Perfect gaps. Now we just need to do a little bit of framework. So guys, I was going to put the fender on, and I noticed this little side piece is a little bit bent right here. So we're gonna go ahead and straighten it out. It's a little bendy. All right guys, so we got our fender. It does have a little bit of damage right here and the little bracket, so we're gonna have to go ahead and straighten that out before we can actually stick it on the car. I can't wait till my hammer and dolly set comes in. The only thing that kind of sucks about getting an older car is new parts are not as easy to get as older ones, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and slap this puppy on here. You know? So guys, check it out. We got all the new parts on. This fender isn't fitting that good. It was bent up a little bit right here, but I went ahead and pulled it out, and there's a little bit of a dent there, but we got the gaps looking pretty smooth. And unfortunately, I should have beat that out before I put it on, but I do not have my hammer and dolly set. I'm still waiting on Eastwood. They shipped it out, so we're gonna wait for that. But it lines up good. Gap is perfect all the way through here. Haven't closed the hood yet, but I also want to go ahead and test fit this old bumper right here. Maybe we could actually save it. I'm not sure. It does have a lot of Bondo on it, and these things aren't too expensive. I think they're like $220 from the dealer, which I think it's always better to buy new parts if you can. I kind of just want to see how good the gaps are up here. And man, check that out. It lines up freaking beautifully. This gap is a little bit bigger right here, but I think the bumper needs to come back a little bit. Maybe even the fender needs to come back. I'm glad this fender and this door were in pretty good condition, considering the price that were paid for them is super cheap, which is awesome. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and take this thing to the other shop, because I did notice some other stuff here. Let me show you guys inside right here. I noticed there's more damage in here right here, and you can actually see the insurance company made some marks right here, and this frame rail is actually a little bit pushed over. So both frame rails on this car are a little bit pushed over, which isn't too big of a deal since we do have access to a frame machine, and these things kind of move pretty easily, because especially when it got hit right here, it kind of just shifted everything over, and that's why you can see the gap is like actually overlapped right here, and then over here it's a little bit bigger in the back than it is in the front. So we will be taking it to the frame machine, get that all knocked out, and then this thing will be ready for paint. And I'm honestly still deciding on what color we're going to paint this thing. I don't know if we want to keep it red, since like we have most of the car already disassembled. The only thing that we'd have to do, take apart some more stuff, maybe pull the dashboard out, and we can give this thing a custom color, which red is kind of like overused and I don't really like it. It's kind of ugly. But guys, drop a comment down below what color you guys want to see this thing painted. I'm kind of thinking yellow, because yellow is like a pretty iconic Honda color. As you guys know, like a bunch of the Type R's came in a yellow, and I think maybe that will be the color. But drop some comments down below and tell me what color we should paint this car. But guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Got a lot of work done on the car. Now we have to order a couple more parts, get that quarter panel on the car, and this thing will be ready for paint. But if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And also check out vTuned.com for some new cool merch. Thanks for watching. Bye.